Hello and welcome to Btec 6 of your Hospitality Management Level 4 qualification. Today we're going to be looking at Btec 6, which is how you manage the provision of customer service within the hospitality industry. Please use this video along with your individual workbook and pause the video whilst you complete the activities. The first page of your workbook introduces you to the unit. You can see that there's 4 learning outcomes involved with this unit, and these consist of understand customer service policies, understand how communication impacts on the promotion of a customer-focused culture, understand how hospitality services meet customer requirements and expectations, and then finally, to understand how improvements to customer service can be implemented. The format of this assignment is suggested as a newsletter. However, as always, you can discuss other formats that better suit your needs with your assessor. So let's get started. I would now like you to go to Activity 1 within your workbook. Here we have a chart where I would like you to reflect upon the area in which you're sitting. Think about it as if it's the first time you've entered this area. What did you see? What did you hear? What did you smell? And what did you feel? Please pause this video whilst you complete this table. I hope you found some very interesting results. It's so simple when you're working at the same place not to notice the minor details. Things such as chipped paintwork, frayed curtains, stained carpets, stale frying smells of bins or drains, the noise of an extractor fan, it can all go unnoticed as we place them in our subconscious after we've worked there for a while. For a customer, it's very different. The customers will be alerted to what they see, hear, smell, and how the place makes them feel to create that all-important first impression. In our next activity, we're going to look at some good and bad examples of customer service. Activity 2 is a reflection activity. It's very important that we're able to recognise what we perceive as good customer service and what we perceive as bad customer service. Using the boxes provided, I would like you to think of an exceptional piece of customer service that you've experienced recently, and then also a poor piece of customer service that you've experienced recently. What made them really stand out? Take some time to reflect upon these experiences and consider how this could help you shape your customer service delivery in the future. The UK Customer Satisfaction Index was launched by the Institute of Customer Service in January 2008, and this is published every 6 months. It provides a unique way of measuring current customer satisfaction according to UK consumers, as well as trends over time. The respondents are asked to rate individual organisations they've dealt with on a range of customer service priorities. These can relate to professionalism, quality and efficiency, ease of doing business, timeliness, problem solving and complaint handling. Here we have a quote from Jo Cawson, who's the CEO from the Institute of Customer Service, and she has identified that across 13 of the 18 sectors, customer satisfaction is closely related to measures of loyalty. For example, service providers scored highly in measures of intention to remain a customer, to repurchase and to recommend, all of which are shown to be directly linked to customer service. She then says it's therefore essential that the organisation see customer service as the driver of business performance and benchmark their delivery against local organisations as well as market leaders. To what extent does your company do this? Do you have a customer service policy? Do you know where to locate it? So let's move on to Activity 3. Activity 3 is a self-study activity in which we've provided you with 3 links. One is to the Institute of Customer Service, one to the Customer Service Benchmark, and the final one is an extract from the caterer. I would like you to create a summary of the key points that you discover. Explain what services the Customer Service Benchmark offer, and then finally, from the extract from the caterer, read about the 3 tips and then discuss these either with your trainer assessor or line manager. Do you think this is something that you do at the moment, or do you think this is something that can be improved upon? As mentioned earlier, customer service is an integral part of keeping the hospitality industry going. For this reason, customer service policies are very, very important. I would like you, for Activity 4, now to look at the 4 following links that are given to you. Here we have 4 different, very different customer service policies. I would like you to read through these and then make note of what you think is the most important points in the policies. Which do you think would be best implemented within your organisation? I would now like you to follow the YouTube link within your workbook and watch the advert. Whilst you're watching the advert, have a little think about what the advert's designed to illustrate, if this appeals to you, and how you feel when you've watched the advert. We'll pause this video whilst you watch the YouTube clip. Once you have reflected on what you've just watched, I would then like you to continue reading for this activity. We need you to start thinking about what it is that you can improve with regards to the customer service within your organisation. Activity 7 is a bit of fun. Think about how we communicate verbally and non-verbally, and try to represent each letter of the alphabet with an appropriate word that relates to this form of communication. Whilst you're doing this, you can also think about why it's important to use the right language when you're communicating with a customer. And you could also think about good and bad forms of verbal and non-verbal communication. The way in which hospitality organisations collect customer feedback can vary greatly. Does your business at the minute use social media, for example, as a means of collecting feedback? How do you identify customer trends? How could you identify customer trends? If your organisation was your own business, how would you use this information? How does your organisation use this information at the minute? And how could your organisation improve the customer service provision? Please take some time to think about these questions, answering Activity 9, and again we'll pause the video just now. So let's move on to Activity 10. Let's think about when a new customer service provision is implemented. What considerations does your organisations need to make when changes are going to be made? These can be small changes, so for example, stopping teaspoons on hospitality trays and replacing these with wooden stirring sticks. From this, what training needs to take place? What do you think is the most effective form of training for customer service? Please complete the boxes provided, and again we'll pause the video now. Benchmarking is a method many organisations use to compare their own practices with others that they consider to be best in class. Process benchmarking can be used to look at the way a service operation is performed in another organisation or service environment, and to consider what could be learned or developed to add value to your own organisation. For Activity 11, there are 5 principles listed below. I would like you to identify an organisation that to your mind is a good benchmark example and explain why. And again, we'll pause the video here. Here is an extract from 5-Star Service, How to Deliver Exceptional Customer Service, a book written by Michael Heppel. Take some time to read the slide about the Ritz-Carlton and the magic this creates. Have a think about how easy it could be to create a great customer service experience. You may wish to pause the video here so that you can read this slide prior to us moving on to discuss the assignment. As you will see, the next few pages of your workbook consist of the assignment brief for Unit 6. This start of this has been taken directly from the Edexcel standards, and you will see the 4 learning outcomes that we discussed at the start of this video. Each of these have been broken down into 1.2, 1.3, for example. But after this, we also have the assignment remit, which we discussed earlier, that can take place in the form of a newsletter. We have given a suggested layout for this newsletter and what it needs to include so that it will meet each of the criteria that forms part of Unit 6. As previously stated, this does not have to be completed as a newsletter. You can choose the means that suits your style the best, and please do discuss this with your assessor. For those of you that would like to complete this assignment as a newsletter, please read the assignment remit carefully. You will see that the format has been split into Part A, Part B, Part C and Part D. And there's also some useful links to newsletter templates that you can use in order to create your newsletter. When creating your newsletter, please make sure that you are answering each of the assignment criteria that is on the previous page. Prior to submitting your work, it is definitely worth going through each of the criteria and finding where you've answered each of these questions. Thank you very much for listening to this video. I hope you found it useful, and good luck with your assignment.